This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com. He's wearing a lot of different hats, if you will, for Vince McMahon, including during the Montreal screw job. There's a pretty famous story that Jerry Briscoe was trying to teach Shawn Michaels how to protect himself in case Bret Hart tried to shoot on him. And of course, in 1998, I guess Art started to imitate real life. He became the on-air second for Vince McMahon. And of course, he, along with Pat Patterson, were lovingly known as the Stooges. How did that come about, and why were they so entertaining together? I guess you probably knew that long before we did. You saw it in real life, right?
Well, the thing about that is that Patterson and Briscoe had great chemistry long before they became the Stooges. They rode together. They hung out together. If Pat had a match that he was laying out for talents, he would oftentimes confide in Jerry and vice versa. So they had a good chemistry, a good relationship. But Vince Vince essentially, I've said this before and I mean it. Vince was the top heel in the Attitude Era in WWE. There was no heel we had that had more heat on them than Vince McMahon. Or Jerry Briscoe would say, Mr. McMahon. So Mr. McMahon and McMahon was he needed some backup, and he needed some. I don't want to necessarily say he needed what's that word that we use too much? Heater.
Yeah.
They were the heaters. Well, I guess they were technically, but they needed, quite frankly, Vince needed somebody to take some bumps for him so he could escape at times. So when Patterson and Briscoe were being bounced around like rubber balls in the ring, Vince could make his exit. That happened a lot. And so it also gave creative two more characters affiliated closely with the top heel that they could utilize. So that's quite how that all came about. It was a TV character thing. They didn't make house shows, or they did. It was very, very seldom. But they were great TV characters. And I thought the Stooges were probably one of the great creative things that we had in that Attitude Era. They just were really good. They had a lot of heat, and they were entertaining. When you match some matches and stuff, I always love the fact, hey, Pat, tonight you got to wear a dress.
The evening gown match, King of the Ring 2000, Jerry versus Pat.
Yeah. So, but both those guys had great psychology. They could take bumps still at that age and liked it. It made them feel young. And they were just really, really good at what they did. So I have a lot of gratitude to how well the Stooges did. They helped us sell a lot of tickets, and people love to see them get their ass whipped. That's the mark of a great heel. My chair is still squeaking, Conrad. I forgot to
WD-40 that motherfucker.
I'm going to WD-40 the holy hell out of this thing. I'll give you a WD-40. Anyway.
By the way, that's the way, if you're just listening and you're never watching video, you can tell if Jim is in Oklahoma or Florida. If he's in Oklahoma, squeak, squeak.
Yeah. I'm sorry, folks. So please don't send a lot of tweets. I couldn't stand, oh my God, it ruined my day. And, I couldn't believe the chair was squeaking, and I just couldn't handle it. That's what somebody wrote the other day, said, you ruined AEW for me, JR, because you called Paul White Big Show. It just took me out of the game. And I want to say, buddy, are you shitting me?
Yeah.
Really? So anyway, I digress. But they were key components to the Stooges were key components. And I don't know, that's one of the better kept secrets of who was playing what and who knew what and all these things. But I'm positive that Vince confided in Patterson and Briscoe on that Montreal business. I'm positive that he made them aware of what he was going to do, obviously. And of course, they knew, without saying, that, you got to protect home base here. So, but the story of Jerry giving self-defense lessons to Shawn Michaels, I find a little far-fetched. It sounds good. Or if it was done in a dressing room or locker room. And, if he does this or that, well, what are you going to teach somebody on the spot?
Right.
So I don't think that one has a lot of validity to it, that he was teaching Sean how to shoot, so to speak. Don't make sense to me.
I want to mention the Real American. We would see Jerry and Pat come to the ring using Hulk Hogan's old Real American song by Rick Derringer. What a fabulous idea. Do you remember who gets credit for that? Because that's a home run.
I don't. It may have been Vince.
It's hilarious. It's just
it is
unbelievable.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I've said this before, that I don't need as a broadcaster to know all the infinite details.
Right.
So when they came out with that music, I didn't know they were going to do it.
It's tremendous.
So you got a natural reaction from me and Lawler, that's for sure. But it was entertaining as hell. They were entertaining characters. They were as entertaining as anybody on the roster, Patterson and Briscoe. And they got over. And, some of the promos that they did backstage in Vince's office were funnier than hell. And remember, that was before everything was scripted so heavily. It was a lot of ad lib between Pat and Jerry and interacting with Vince. So that's how skilled they were. So we oftentimes forget that. But some of the more entertaining things that happened on television, especially on Monday Night Raw during the Attitude Era, was stimulated by Jerry Briscoe and Pat Patterson.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.